there's like nowhere to start this video because like he goes on like a pretty big tangent. I don't want to make this too big of a video, but it's like his point starts like somewhere around here. Um, so yeah, Chris Williamson had Rory Stewart on, and Rory Stewart, I guess, had something in politics, but he talks about how like the inside of politics looks like, and it's dude, it's literally as we suspected. It's fucking high school, if that. Okay, maybe it's middle school. It's all about like gossiping and just like talking bullshit. Anyways, I'll let them talk about it and offer the commentary that I think about. But honestly, this is like where is that video? Where is that video that I made, man? Now I'm not saying this has been different before, but can politicians go back to being adults? Right? Literally. And like they just don't feel like adults, and now we can get a little glimpse of like why they don't really feel like adults.
Of people who should be knowledgeable, in power, someone that you're able to give a sense of sort of trust and faith in. Like it's just been mainstream media, government officials, individuals within
Yeah.
government, the systems, NIH, CDC, WHO, every single organization and every single individual within them. It's this odd sort of conflagration of individual uselessness and systemic sort of incompetence that's just been shown over and over and over again. And then we ask questions about, why have you got a more populism on the rise? Why is it that people are turning to certainty as a proxy for expertise as opposed to expertise as a proxy for expertise? Well,
And honestly, like he says in a very nice way, but I think it's a lot more similar to that. Why do people just not trust the government? Right? Why are people like exiting this whole like why isn't everyone voting? Why do they not care? Why, like me for example, personally, like a politician is a politician. Like some might, have better values that fit my thing, like my ideals. But like in reality, it's like I I can't even think of a politician as not being corrupt. And I think honestly, in many ways, this is also like why many people like Donald Trump, because he wasn't a politician. He wasn't talking like a politician. He wasn't painting like a pretty picture or whatever. He was saying it how it is. He was like brutal about it, right? What like the whole like what do you call it? When he had the presidential debate. Was it presidential debate at that point with Hillary Clinton when she says that it's a good thing that Donald Trump is not in office, and it's like, yeah, because you would be in jail. That's not a politician right there, and that's what people loved about it, that he wasn't a politician, that he's different from the corrupted bullshit that they know. Show me any movie where a politician is the good guy. you know where it's like you see a movie and it's like you're following like this, let's say this Steve, fuck it, take Prison Break, right? Take Prison Break. The good guy is the one who is in jail, and the bad guy is the one who's running for office. Okay, like it's the most standard narration in so many movies and films, and I feel like, and the reason it's so popular and the reason those movies and series made money is because on some deeper level people agree with this. It's not like pure fantasy. It's to the point where it's like they see it and they kind of agree with it. It's like, yeah, this is what I feel like has been going on with politics. Like these guys are fucking corrupt, crooked pieces of shit, right? How is this person who's supposed to be making 120,000 a year have $20 million and like six houses and two yachts? That makes no fucking sense, right? But it's like, but they're a politician. So it's like people can do, even if they can't do like the math because they have too many variables to consider. They can see that something here doesn't add up, right? So yeah, like how can you trust the government when you can't trust your politicians to not be fucking thieves basically, or like not be like criminals, or like doing some shady shit? And again, I don't think you can be in politics to begin with if you're not willing to do shady shit, because a lot of stuff that will happen that has to do with politics will have to be done outside of the public eye. I think like it's kind of like comes with the territory. I don't think politicians can be too upfront with everything that is going on. I think it can create unnecessary panic. You just trust your supposed to trust your politicians to do the right thing, even the hard thing. But that is not the world we live in, right? Right now, we are scrutinizing our politicians, rightfully so, by the way. We're scrutinizing them, we're holding them to account all the time. And honestly, the only reason we're doing this is because they have been fucking up so hard for so long that is pretty much why. It's like if you, as a politician, lost the trust of the people, and many politicians have lost the trust of the people, that's what happens, right? You like people are just not gonna trust you, and even if you're gonna do all the right things and say all the right things and get the proper results, people will be like, "Yeah, but you're still a politician. You probably gained something out of doing it." It's like, "Oh, it looks like you're doing something nice for me, but actually, I know you did it for yourself." Right? It's like people just don't have trust in their politicians anymore.
In a world that's chaotic, where you really struggle to find trust, someone that comes along and says, "This is the way it is. This is the solution. All of the chaos that's out there, I can wrangle it into a couple of different variables." Why? That's seductive. It gives you this sense, oh, finally, someone can tell me how this works, because I know that we messed up in Afghanistan, I know that we messed up in Iraq, and I know that we messed up with COVID, and I know that we messed up with the blah, blah, blah. It doesn't surprise me.
No, you're right. And but I guess there's part of us that I mean, we're also smart, and we also know that people who come to us and say, "I'm going to sort it all out, don't worry, there are 2 things we need to do, it's all going to be fine," are generally bullshitting us. And I think one of the challenges, I've just written, I was a politician for 10 years, and I've just written a book which in the US is called How Not to Be a Politician, because it's about trying to describe why politics doesn't work. And a lot of this is about understanding that we don't think about politicians the way that we think about people in our own families, or the way we think about somebody we might be in a business with.
Yeah.
You know, if you were running a small family.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in the 90s, obviously. I'm fucking old as shit. And the way I used to view politicians is like I put politicians back then on a pedestal. Like, these are the smart people. They are running things. They know what they're talking about. But it turns out they are actually how he is about to describe it, the drunk uncle that doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, but he talks about with confidence. And everyone just has to sit there and listen because he's drunk.
Pizza restaurant. And the person that you had as your manager spent their whole time standing up saying, "Look, I don't know anything about pizzas, but I got this. This are the 2 things we're going to do."
Yeah, that's speak nicely.
You'd get a bit fed up, right? You'd begin to wonder about what's going on. In fact, a lot of our politicians kind of remind me of sort of kind of unreliable uncles in our families that we're aware of. These kind of bullshitting figures that kind of float in and out, usually having got themselves into horrible debt.
That's if my cousin watches this video, just so you know, he's talking about me as an uncle.
With chaotic family lives, holding forth at the family dinner table very confidently.
When you have a kid.
I don't know whether you saw the episode, but I had Dominic Cummings on the show recently. And he gave, what would you say, a less than flattering assessment of the competence level inside of government. You know, there's
this is the crux of the matter. This is the crux.
People will be promoted to the level of competence that they're maxed out at, and then no further, which is why everybody that gets promoted eventually ends up sucking at their job. And it just, you know, we watch shows like The Thick of It, you know, or Veep, or you know, whatever, West Wing, and you think, hey, that's a dramatization of it. But then to realize that the real world
it's not much different,
maybe more accurately represented by a sitcom than it is by the news. So you just draw the line for a second between, try to explain to me, as somebody that's seen both the inside and the outside of government, why is it not attracting more competent?
This is, I mean, I think this is a question that needs to be asked for the sake of the podcast, but I think it's extremely easy to know why it's not attractive for most people, it is not a good job to have. Rory's gonna be talking about it, obviously, but it's just such a bad job to fucking have. If you are competent, you're gonna make more money. Like, if you're competent, what it is that got you elected, you are probably gonna make more money doing that thing that got you elected than actually being elected to politics, right? With a lot less fucking social problems, with a lot less harassment. Like, politicians get harassed all the time, in public, in private, death threats to them, to their family. Is it really? What happened to that beautiful hair? Dude, man. It got too hot. It was choking me at night. It was up to here approximately, and it was just fucking choking me at night. It is bad. It is bad. But yeah, also, like, honestly, I could never wear hats. Now I can wear a hat because of the long hair. So yeah, it's it's a change. It's a change. It feels good too. But yeah, I'm gonna start growing it out again. But I usually grow my hair and I donated it and then I cut it off. I usually don't cut off this much, but yeah, I just grow my hair and donate it.
Upwardly mobile, sort of aggressive, go-getting people. Like, is this something that's systemic? Is it due to the constituent parts? Is it the pool that they're drawing from? What's going on?
I think there's two things. I think one of them is the quality, as you say. It's a pretty horrible job. It's an extremely unpleasant, poorly paid job where if you're a public politician, you're being abused on social media all the time.
Yeah.
You're working very, very long.
I don't have like, as far as I know, I don't really have a bald spot either. I have like something here that looks like a bit of a scar kind of thing, but yeah, as soon as like it grows to like maybe like 2-3 inches, like, can't see anything anymore. The problem is I get like a mini Jufro going on though, until it's like long enough. So
long hours. A pretty horrible job. It's an extremely unpleasant, poorly paid job where if you're a public politician, you're being abused on social media all the time. You're working very, very long hours and people are very angry with you all the time. It's very demotivating.
It really sucks being a politician.
But I think
to an extent, I also want to be a politician, like, but not to the extent that I actually want to be a politician, if that makes sense. Right? Just like being in a position of being a politician and trying to like make the government make sense to people, like just like fucking do what people actually want and not just what like I want, like being an honest politician. I would not be a very successful politician because I want to be an honest politician. But I also don't want to put in the work to become an honest politician. And honestly, I don't even think it's worth it or it's even possible to be an honest politician. So, there's that. But anyways, basically, like, yeah, this is basically what I want to talk about. There's one more thing here. Oh, man, I wonder if... Don't remember where he says it, but basically where he says that's like... and do give this video a watch. It's a really, really interesting... podcast, but he basically says that it's like if you walk onto a meeting with politicians, like after like like they go to the coffee place where they're all sitting and talking, and you try to actually talk to them about something serious, they look at you weird. Like they're like, what is wrong with you? Like, bro, all we want to talk about is like who got harassed by the media last week, who fucked up, and who is a laughing stock, yada yada yada, and just gossiping, and nothing gets done. If you want to talk to them about like something serious, it's like, bro, what's wrong with you? It's as if like the politicians are like the jocks at the at the school, and it's like anyone who's like talking about anything other than sports and hot chicks is like retarded. Right. He goes over this, I believe, like around like 10 minutes. But yeah, and it's like, bro, what is wrong with politicians? And it's like, that's pretty much why nothing gets done, because they're fucking like they're just in high school, man. Like,